once again, you gotta thank Zero Hedge for just finding this stuff. Not necessarily that they always find it, but a lot of times they've got excellent sources of information that give it to them and then just post it on their site. For example, Mike Krieger, Liberty Blitzkrieg blog. I've Again, another source I know I've read numerous times. So it's amazing once you find some sources. It doesn't take many. And you see day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that is a solid source of information. I've never been, hornswoggled, if you will, by them. They didn't try to trick me. They didn't try to get me with propaganda. They're not posting garbage. They're keeping it real. Kind of like old Jason for Realist News. That's my kind of guy, my kind of site. Zero Hedge is one of those. And all the people in different sites and blogs that report to them and to put their, not necessarily report to them, but send them their articles. It's fantastic. Gotta love the internet. Rigged democracy. Nearly 10% of Democratic Party superdelegates are actually lobbyists. How in the hell is that democracy working out for you? On July 25th, these superdelegates will cast votes at the Democratic National Convention for whomever they want, regardless of primary and caucus outcomes. Democrats like to describe superdelegates as mostly elected officials and prominent party members, including President Obama and former presidents Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter. But this group, which consists of 21 governors, 40 senators, and 193 representatives, only make up about a third of the superdelegates. Many of the remaining 463 convention delegates are establishment insiders who get their status after years of donations in service to the party. Dozens of the 437 delegates in the DNC member category are registered federal and state lobbyists, according to an ABC News analysis. In fact, when you remove elected officials from the superdelegate pool, at least 1 in 7 of the rest are former or current lobbyists registered on the federal and state level according to lobbying disclosure records. How in the hell is that democracy working out for you? When it comes to presidential primaries, there isn't a whole lot of democracy in the Democratic Party. Last year, the New York Times published an article examining the American attitude toward the question of money in politics, and this is what it found. Americans of both parties fundamentally reject the regime of untrammeled money in elections made possible by the Supreme Court's Citizen United ruling and other court decisions, and now favor a sweeping overhaul of how political campaigns are financed, according to the New York Times and CBS News poll. The findings reveal deep support among Republicans and Democrats alike for new measures to restrict the influence of wealthy givers, including limiting the amount of money that can be spent by super PACs and enforcing more public disclosure on organizations now permitted to intervene in elections without disclosing the names of their donors. As evidence of just how lopsided opinion is on the subject, 84% feel it's thinking about the money, the role of money in American political campaigns today. Do you think money has too much influence, too little influence, or is just about right? 84% say it's too much. Quick look surprised. You might think the supposedly liberal Democratic Party would take this sort of thing to heart, but you're wrong. Not only is the superdelegate system intentionally undemocratic, but a remarkable 9% of superdelegates are actually lobbyists. You just can't make this stuff up. From ABC News, Hillary Clinton holds a substantial edge among a particular and little noticed kind of delegate to the Democratic National Convention, superdelegates. On July 25th, these superdelegates will cast votes at the Democratic National Convention for whomever they want, regardless of primary and caucus outcomes. Democrats like to describe superdelegates as mostly elected officials and prominent party members, including President Obama and former presidents Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter. So I already read you that part. It says that's at least 67 lobbyists who will attend the convention as superdelegates. A majority of them have already committed to supporting Hillary Clinton for the nomination. Notice how none of them are supporting Bernie. I'll say it again. The Rothschild-owned Economist magazine, the same one in 1988 that had the cover of a phoenix rising from the ashes of burning, smoking on fire paper dollars of different countries, including our own dollar was in there, with a big gold coin, I believe, around its neck. And the title, get ready for New World Currency in 2018. In this latest Economist magazine cover for 2016 shows Hillary at the forefront, on the front of the magazine. Ain't no Bernie Sanders, ain't no Donald Trump, ain't no Marco Rubio, ain't no Ted Cruz. It's, I don't know if I just said Bernie Sanders, ain't no Bernie Sanders. It's Hillary. Look no further. Who are these 67 lobbyists who are actually superdelegates? Who have they pretty much committed to? Without caring for what the people have said and voted for. They're already, a majority of them have already committed to supporting Hillary for the nomination. How is that democracy working out for you? He says, of course they have. Superdelegates are unique to the democratic nominating process. Of the 4,763 delegates who will attend the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, 717 will be superdelegates, which is almost a third of the total required to win the nomination altogether. Now, isn't that lopsided? Meanwhile, former presidential candidate and current Democrat Party superdelegate Howard Dean shared his personal thoughts on democracy via Twitter the other day. He says, at D. Born and at Bernie Sanders, superdelegates don't represent people. I'm not elected by anyone. I'll do what I think is right for the country. Howard Dean. Superdelegates don't, he put in quotes, represent people, end quote. I'm not elected by anyone. I'll do what I think is right for the country. No. You got the first letter right, but you misspelled the rest of it. It's not I'll do what I think's right for the country. It's I'll do what I like for the club. The other C word, club. Even tweeted it. This is, what's that little stupid chant? This is what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. Hold my sign. This is what democracy looks like. Superdelegate. We all voted for Bernie Sanders, and you're voting for Hillary, but we all said we want Bernie Sanders, and you're voting for Hillary. I'm sorry, what was that? Guys, quiet with that chanting. Oh, you'll vote for who you like? You're a superdelegate? You do what you want? You do what's right for the country. I'm sorry, did you say country or club? Or country club? Maybe. This is going to be I've said it before, this is going to be the most unbelievable election, quite possibly in the history of the United States of America. You're actually going to live through it and watch what happens. You already know it's going to be Hillary against Donald Trump. And I find it absolutely mind-blowing that year 2000 episodes of The Simpsons, cartoon Simpsons, shows Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump in a presidential run. Amongst other things that The Simpsons has predicted in some other episodes that have happened. And I haven't actually watched it, but I heard that Trump wins in The Simpsons. Remains to be seen what the hell happens here. Take care.